Hey everyone! Welcome to another video with me, Lenka, on my channel Yoga with Zhigong. Yes, that's how you pronounce it. You're welcome. So today we will talk about spinal waves a little bit, since I feel like there are some people that are not sure about how to do them and what's happening. And I think it's like everything in yoga. So it's about the awareness. I always say that word, and about being able to control your body. In this case, control your spine. I like to start in a tabletop since it allows you to fix your hands and legs so they don't move that much, and you can be more concentrated and focusing on your spine itself. And you probably know the classical cat-cow that you do with inhales. You usually open your chest and you compress your spine or try to back bend, and in your cow you round the spine, you try to relax your neck, and even pointing the sitting bones down, squeezing the belly in. So you can go few rounds just to warm up, inhaling, opening your collarbones, creating space in your chest, in your heart center, and exhaling, rounding, and trying to press from your palms to protract your shoulder blades and creating a hollow from the body. And then as inhale, you can imagine that you want to slide the palms back. That will help you to rotate the arms or the shoulders back, maybe even squeezing the shoulder blades together, putting the sitting bones up, but keeping your belly in, to keep a little bit of protection on your low back using those core muscles. Exhale and round. Go for 2 more. Inhale, open. If you want to stretch your throat, you can even try to look up, but keep your neck super long. And exhale, rounding, pressing from your feet even maybe into the mat, as if you wanted to lift your knees. One last inhale and exhale. Okay, then find a neutral spine. Neutral means that you want to find the S curve again. So having a little bit of roundness in your upper back. It's not like the biggest kind of amount that you're trying and you can do, but it's a little bit. And then there is a little bit of curvature in your low back. Natural one again. And from here you want to engage from your belly, from your ribs as much as possible, to have your low back and actually the whole spine supported. And then use your fingertips in the mat, squeeze the mat, grab it, press from the inside palms into the mat. This helps you to fix your arms and shoulders, and then even engage your glutes a little bit. So there is like a lot of things happening all around your body. And we will start from the bottom. I think that's more natural. So starting from your low back and your hips. So your hips needs to hinge a little bit more by pointing the sitting bones up. So your tailbone is going up. You are creating less space in between your thighs and the front of your hips, and try to keep your belly in as you point. Then you can try to around your low back, pointing the sitting bones down and then up. And from there, add the next step. So the sitting bones come up, and then add a little bit of chest. You should feel it right underneath your shoulder blades. So it's as if you wanted to lean or point with your chest bone forward. So that's the second part of your spine. There is the lumbar spine when you point your sitting bones up, and the lower back, and then your thoracic spine where your ribs are connected. I already started to look forward. So the last part of your spine is the neck, or at least from the spine parts that can move. And coming back, it's the same. So first, starting from the lower part of your spine, but pointing the sitting bones down. Then your thoracic part, your chest part, your rib cage part, keep looking forward though. So first, just creating that hollow front body. So your sitting bones, hollow front body, and then the last goes the whole head in your neck. And do every movement in the deepest way that you can. So your sitting bones up, your chest forwards, shoulder blades together, space in your collarbones. And then your throat opens. And then exhaling. First, the sitting bones. Keep everything, just your sitting bones. Then, hollow front body. Your collarbones close. And then your neck. Go really slowly, especially if you are new to this. Sitting bones. Collarbones open. And head, even looking up. Keep looking where you are looking. First, sitting bones. Then chest. Collapses, then neck. Inhale. And exhale. And then, once you get a little bit better at this, try the other way. It will feel really unnatural. Starting with your head. With your head, keep the hollow front body. Keep the upper back rounding. Then, keep your sitting bones pointing down. Keep them down. Keep them down. Just open your chest. Open your collarbones. Sitting bones down. Then the sitting bones. And then start with your head. This one is a little bit more natural. So head, chest in, and then the sitting bones down. Go to more like that. You can start bending the elbows a little bit if that helps you with that roll. And really feeling each part of your spine after the other. I hope this went somewhere that you learned something, or maybe you just rediscovered something that you already knew. I actually did spinal waves already in dancing, so I have some background, but even if you are starting with this later in your life, you can get better with practice as with everything. And if this is already easy for you and you want to go for the standing waves, it's pretty similar. You just have to imagine that you have something in front of you that you want to touch with one part of your body after the other. And some teachers like Matthew Baldron, they do it with a wall. I don't really like it with the wall because I keep sliding on the wall like with the chin, like I slide and then I need to use my knees, and then the height changes, and then this sliding against the wall is a little bit weird for me. But if this is something that will help you, try to find a wall and then try to go one part of your body towards the wall and go slow as much as possible to have maximum control, and then you can go faster the next time. However, with the wall, you usually go only like the front part at a time. So you start with your head, for example, then you end up in your hips, and then you go the opposite way. And then you have to go back towards the back side. And the tricky part is to do it together without the wall and combine, because once one part of your body is open, the other is closed. And if you're doing this with the wall, you're not really realizing what's the backside of you doing. Because once you come back, you actually won't imagine also the backside of the wall. I don't know if that makes sense. So you can't do just with the front wall. You will have to have the back wall at the same time. It's there. And you have to continue the movement, otherwise it will look very stiff and weird. So relaxing your arms, and then you can bring your feet a little bit wider, and then bend the knees and try to find a little bit of like bounce in them, because we want to have this time your knees the same as we were in that tabletop and we could bend the elbows. Same applies here. Your spine will be able to move more freely if you bend your knees a little bit. And again, starting from the bottom. The knees, then you don't have to think about them. They will bend forward, but they are not part of the spine. And you want to bring first your hips and your pubic bone forward. Then you are rounding in the upper body at the same time. It's like a laid back kind of movement here. Your arms are relaxed. And then you squeeze your butt and you start to send it back. And it's your low ribs that will come forward. And everything else stays back except for those knees. They are still having that kind of bounce. Then once this is done, watch out because the low back will need to start rounding as you bring your collarbones forward and you lift your head. There is a back bend that will happen in your thorax, but already also in your neck as your lumbar spine will round and you have to squeeze your body. And then the last thing is your chin and you are rounded everywhere else. And then you can start from the bottom, around the upper back, and you continue. And how I found or learned these movements was actually using a mirror, and I would see myself. So if you have some kind of reflection or a mirror, that's really, I think, the best kind of teacher that you can have to realize what is your body doing and if you are looking weird or something. So the other way of doing it is starting from your head and again going from more realizing what's happening in the front body, but at the same time you have to think about what's happening in your back body. And go very slowly. So you want to round because you want to keep everything away, although your knees are forward. And you start with your head, leaning it up, going like a snake. It's actually a very snaky kind of movement. Snake, I don't know if they move like this, but they definitely go to the side using their spinal column. So you are going like a snake, but laying on the side with your head, your chin, your collarbones. So think about that opening in your chest, but keep your sitting bones pointing down and forward. So first, that chest comes forward and you're still squeezing your belly, your sitting bones are still pointing down, and your head comes to neutral. And then you continue with your low ribs. You will have to now go a little bit straighter with your knees maybe, and your neck is starting to round as you bring your hips forward. Even your thoracic part of the spine will round. Again, going very slowly. I would even cut it in two parts maybe. The first part is the front wave. It's the touching of the wall in the front. And the second part is the back wave, but the second part starts in the half of the first one. So first is the front wall where you like slide your chin and your chest, and then already the second part starts when it comes to your low ribs, where you have to start sliding the back side of your body towards the back wall. Another thing that can help you is to put your palms on your hips and to do it like that, because then you will be more aware of what your hips are doing and that helps you. Or even going one part at a time, so putting one palm on your chest, one on your lower belly, and you start with your head. Don't forget about the head. Head, chest, head comes back, belly, head, chest, hips and knees. And when you come back, it's your hips, chest and throat. and how to implement it into your yoga practice. So you can either do spinal waves while standing. So before you start in doing your sun salutations, maybe you add a little bit of waves there to warm up your spine. It's really some kind of a meditative thing to do, and it really warms you up, so you will not feel colder in your sun salutations. And my favorite way of implementing the spinal waves is in some kind of a Vinyasa variation, coming from your down dog and starting with like a back wave. This can be even easier than doing it while standing, since it's just the back wall that you want to slide over or into. So you bring your heels high because you want to touch that wall. You squeeze your belly and point your sitting bones down. Some people will be better at rounding the low back. I'm not really efficient, but you basically want to squeeze your belly to round your low back. And then you round your middle back, and you shift your shoulders forward, and you keep your head relaxed, and then end up in a high plank. Maybe even shifting your feet, then dipping the hips down. You end up in an open position in your upward facing dog variation, opening your collarbones and coming back. You can bring the knees down. That might feel a little bit easier. So you want to come up with your sitting bones, starting again from the bottom. Sitting bones up, and then you feel your middle back as you're transferring back, and you keep looking forward until you sit your hips all the way in towards your heels, and you end up back in your downward facing dog. And if you want to try it without the knees on the ground, go forward with the very rounded wave, and then back. You can even bend your knees and makes it a little bit easier. Just point the sitting bones up and coming back with your head coming last, because we are starting from the bottom. And once you are good at this, you can start in between like a down dog and a plank, and you can just go and do these waves here. So starting from your sitting bones. And continuing through your middle back, and ending in your cervical spine, or going in even the other way, which is again a little bit weird, but it's doable. So coming forward with a back bend, coming back with your head tucking first, and then rounding your way back. Usually what happens in your classical vinyasa is going rounded forward and going rounded backwards. So you go forward and you round, you end up in your upward facing dog, and you go back and again you round. And you can spice that up by going forward and trying to go through that back bend. And once you end up in your upward facing dog, coming back also through a back bend. Maybe even lifting a leg, so coming forward. And once you are in your upward facing dog, you lift one leg and you come through that back bend. Back into one-legged down dog. Maybe you flip your dog from there. You can try any kind of things from all these waves. I also like this because you can skip your vinyasas. Don't forget with the head going last. It will help you to really feel your upper back, your thoracic spine a little bit more than if you would go and you would bend the head first. So if you bring your hips up but you relax your head, it automatically brings the roundness in your upper back, and this is the most important part that you want to feel in any kind of back bends. If I would pick two things that you should take home from this video, the first is to do those standing spinal waves with a mirror, and then trying mostly your cat-cow and learning how to insulate one part of your spine after the other, maybe even with your eyes closed and training that. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Okay. I don't know if this video makes any sense. If you are curious of what's happening here, the whole time Gusto was sleeping here like a baby because he loves to be covered in blankets. That's his thing. If you want to get rid of him, you can just cover him with a blanket and he will fall asleep immediately, stop moving, stop complaining.